Well, hello, we have Indre Skersyte from the Ministry of Justice in Lithuania with us. She's a chief specialist. Thank you for joining us today here in Riga for the Digital Area event at the the National Library of Riga. So can you tell us a little bit about the experience that you have? I understand you started with the Data Protection Agency and are now responsible for subjects with the GDPR.
Yes, good morning. Yes, before joining the Ministry of Justice, I was working at the Supervisory Authority for almost 10 years, where I gained a significant experience in the field, and it helps me a lot now with my work at the Ministry of Justice.
So what are the main topics and tasks that you have in your day-to-day job related to GDPR?
I started working with GDPR, implementation of GDPR in national law from the very beginning, because at that time I was working at the State Data Protection Inspectorate, and this inspectorate created a working party that drafted a primary version of the law, which was later given to the ministry, and I continued my work there. And so my main tasks are to have this law in accordance with the GDPR and to go on all the consultations, presentations with both private sector and public sector institutions.
Mm-hmm. And what's the current status of the law in Lithuania?
Unfortunately, the law is not yet adopted, but we hope that our parliament will adopt this law by the summer holiday in spring session. So now the law is undergoing the procedures at the parliament.
Mm-hmm. And what is the impact for companies of Lithuania? They have to be GDPR compliant because it's a European-wide regulation, but the law is not enforced yet. So what's the implication for them?
I would say here that the main implication are for our supervisory authority and not businesses, because businesses, they have to comply with the requirements of GDPR itself, and our national law, it gives only several provisions that are of importance to the businesses. But on the other hand, the supervisory authority is appointed as one by the law, which is not yet adopted. So I see the problems arising from this point more than from business point of view.
And from your point of view, how far down the line are the companies in Lithuania with implementing GDPR?
It's a very good question, because I think we would have a very different level of those companies, because some big companies are those who were taking care of data protection since their establishment. They might be absolutely ready for and compliant with the GDPR, but those smaller ones, or those who were just not thinking about this date upcoming, they might be in a worse situation, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And how does that impact the startup scene in Lithuania, small companies that have to comply?
Well, actually, I heard very good opinions about startups, because they are very innovative people. They are very people willing to know a lot of different things, and they are taking care from the very beginning of their startups. So I think that they won't have any problem with implementations of principles by design, by default, because they are thinking it already now.
That's great to hear. And from the consumer perspective, how do consumers in Lithuania view privacy of their data? Is that a big topic for them, or are they negligent about it?
I think, as everywhere in the world, you can find both types of people, those who are taking care of their personal data and those who don't care about it at all.
Did you hear much how the public reacted to the Facebook scandal? Information was given publicly by our media, also by our State Data Protection Inspectorate, and the public, of course, as any other European citizen, they were not satisfied what's happening with their data that they have trusted to big companies as Facebook. Mm-hmm. Do you know, roughly on average, how many of the people of Lithuania use Facebook?
Actually, I don't know exactly the amount of people who use Facebook, but I know that the program, the apps we are talking about was installed by around 16 Lithuanian citizens, and because of these people, around 16,000 data from their friends of a friend, and that circle was collected because of this apps.
Mm-hmm. So, and I heard you're here in Riga more often, then it's not the first time that you're here. What is your recommendation for people who have not been to the city?
Oh, I would just suggest to have a stroll around the center of Riga and to enjoy the old town, have a coffee somewhere to sit down and relax.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference and thanks for joining us at the Digital Area event.
Thank you very much.